What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. I got a review for you. Let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm really excited to check this one out. It has been a little while since I've had one in from this brand, and it's a brand that I think delivers phenomenal build quality and value both at their budget and premium levels. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Kubey Interflow. So what are we doing today? We're going to do some size comparisons, profile comparisons, weigh the knife, a little bit of cutting because it is a pass around. Shout out to Kevin, Lefty EDC, for his pass around group. Without that, I don't know that I necessarily would have gotten to this one to check it out. So I'm very grateful for that. Let's start it off with some size comparisons, guys. All right, on the table, we got a couple of lightweights from Spyderco. We got the Para 3 lightweight and we got the Manix 2 lightweight. As you can see, the Interflow is definitely more full size in nature. So let's do a couple more size comparisons. All right, a couple more that I thought would be interesting for size comparison is going to be, of course, my Kaiser October. I do love this one for a small size comparison because it does still give you that full four-finger grip. But I wanted to bring out the Vosteed Psyop, which is a full-size knife, but you can see the Kubey's a little bit more girthy and a little bit more robust. So I thought that would be interesting to check out. Let's do profile and then we'll weigh it. All right, so closed up, it's very interesting. Even though it is a little bit more of what I would consider a girthy knife in the hand, it is actually a little bit shorter closed up, so it's going to take up less space in the pocket. And then when you take the profile and compare it against the Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight, it is coming in very close. It might be just slightly thicker, but that's still pretty close. Let's check it out against the Psyop, though. I think these are going to be pretty comparable as far as thickness. Yeah, so very comparable to your Psyop as far as thickness, but it is coming in a little bit shorter overall. So let's grab the scale and do the weight next. All right, we got the scale here. It's cutting on. What we have here is a titanium handle with a knife that seems to have a lot of blade with the flipper and everything like that. So let's see how they did with the weight on this one. So coming in at 4.7, I think the most comparable one I'm going to have here is going to be the Psyop, and the Psyop coming in at 4.9. So the Kubey, even though it is a little bit more girthy, probably hollowed out a little bit more and a little bit better as far as the pockets on here. And with that Psyop, you got the steel liners because of the type of lock mechanism. So honestly, for such a full-sized or more full-sized knife, really good weight. Let's check out a little bit of cutting with this one. Okay, guys, in the garage, we got the Kubey. Man, I like this one a lot. Stepping up their designs for sure over at Kubey. It is a pass around, guys, but we do have a hollow ground blade, and this one is coming in M390, so hopefully it's got a good edge on it. Very nice, very nice. Maybe a little bit of a blemish there. It could have just been the paper rolling. Let's see. A little bit of a snag there in the middle. I'll make sure and strop that out when we get to the end here and make sure that that's good to go for the next reviewer. Let's see what we got here. We got single ply cardboard, very comfortable. I do feel the jimping a little bit right there, gripping onto it, and this jimping here feels pretty good. But overall, ergonomically, very comfortable. Not really feeling that pocket clip. Oops, I went into the sharpening tool there, my bad. Very nice. Very good bite, seems nice. Let's try the Tonto tip first. Little thick, not as thin of a cut, and it's not getting all the way through. Let's just try pinch gripping and going to the top. Still also very thick for the detailed work. I would not say that this is going to be good for that type of work. Let's just, yeah, very thick, requires a lot of power. So not really meant for detailed work. This is probably more for like your puncturing type task. Getting into something that you really need to cut into. Let me strop it up and then we'll test it after the strop. Actually, let me clean it off too. There's some adhesive. All right, we are stropped and adhesive removed. Let's see if we got this smooth enough to pass on to the next reviewer, guys. Let's see, it's still snagging a little bit here. And I also got the fan going down because it's hot in the garage. But it is biting well. Just a little snag there in the middle. So let me just do a couple more strops. I feel like I almost got it. Yeah, I think we're good. I think what's happening is it's catching out on the tip. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it back up to the desk. All right, so just a little bit of cutting, no spine whack. It is a pass around. I do apologize for that, but it's not my knife, so I really can't do that. Let's go ahead and jump into it with this one, guys. First and foremost, I really like this frag pattern on here. Very cool, very nice. It adds a little bit more texture to the knife for something this big. So I feel like this knife here is kind of targeting more of a hard use scenario. You got a titanium pocket clip. I really love that you get all titanium hardware here, and it's accented beautifully. I think that they've really mastered this voltage of blue here. It's such a beautiful contrast against the silver. It complements it very well, in my opinion. The ergos are super comfortable. Now with the frag, keep in mind you are going to really notice that because it is gripping onto your palm as you're using it. While I was cutting, I did feel a little bit of the jimping. I don't want to make it sound like it was aggressive or sawing at me, but I just kind of felt that it was kind of digging in there, which is nice for any type of potential puncturing that you would be doing with this one. It's going to make sure that your finger is gripped there so you're not accidentally rolling past it. Pocket clip, I do feel it, but it's so chamfered, guys, that it's just, I noticed that it's there because it feels different than the frag, that it's like this area of smoothness here, as opposed to it being something that kind of digs in or anything like that. I also really like this milling that they did right here on the lock bar access, beautiful lock bar access, and then this chamfer and milling here makes it really easy to disengage with this one. I'm able to easily clear the lock bar detent ball and disengage with the knife. Very easily able to pull up on the lock bar, and of course with that it's going to make it very easy to slide and push the blade forward depending on what method it is that you like to disengage. Now the detent on this is awesome. It works really good for the thumb studs and it works well for the flipper tab. So being that it is so smooth and the detent ball is good, I am able to just try to lightly, and I couldn't fail at that time. You saw the first time I was able to, but I'm able to lightly pull on it and sometimes fail it, but the bearing action is so smooth on here, it's hard to repeatedly fail it. So it's good for that flipper tab, but for the thumb studs, you really got to ramp up for those. Now the thumb studs are a little small for the knife, and actually I was on the lock bar that time. That was actually very stout. The thumb studs are a little small. They're kind of the size of these bug out studs here. Very close in size. They may be ever so slightly bigger. I picked up these bug out thumb studs to put on my Maverick just because I wanted to be able to anodize them. Plus I didn't really love the factory thumb studs on the Maverick, but the Maverick's a great knife. But very close in that size. I think something like what you see, hold on, let me grab it. Something like you see here on the Nova, just a little bit bigger, and the ramping's a little bit better. I think these would have been a little bit nicer for the thumb studs on here, but they're good, right? I don't want to make it sound like it's bad. That's kind of nitpicky. It's just they feel a little bit small, and you know, for me with the larger hands, I am noticing that they're a little bit more pokey. I don't know how else to describe it. This has gone through the pass round. It came to me perfectly centered up, guys. No issue with the centering whatsoever. Again, very satisfying to flipper tab. I would say just make sure you put a little effort into your flip with the flipper tab, and it's going to be very satisfying. And I love the action with the thumb studs. The thumb stud action to me is really stout, guys. Like almost to the point where I would warn you, if you don't like a heavy detent, this one might not be for you. With the blade, you got a compound ground Tonto. Very well done hollow grind. It felt good going through the material. Now it was a pass around, so I don't hold that against the knife, but I did have to strop it up to get it to be very slicey back up again, and then the tips were acute enough to be able to use them for some detailed work, but if the material's thicker, they have like a very thick geometry out here on the nose, so this one's not going to be excellent for those detailed works. And again, it does feel more hard use, more heavy duty, and Kubey is advertising this one as a tactical folder, so keep that all in mind. Really excellent slicing geometry here to get through thick heavy materials, and then a very robust tip here to be used for hard use. I really do like that a lot. Listen to the sounds on this one too. It sounds really good. Very solid, guys. Very, very solid. You're getting all this for what I see on White Mountain knives. Now, the one I see on White Mountain knives is the tuxedo version. So I don't know if there'll be a difference between that and this sandblasted. It looks like it's sandblasted. I'm gonna call it a blasted finish on that titanium there. 180 bucks is really, really good value. Some alternatives if you wanted to go up a little bit here. LMAX titanium with the top liner lock coming in at about $250. So just over $50 more for the SIOP here, coming in at 180, getting about a $70 price difference. Also, you could check out the Ankylo, which is coming in at the exact same price, but you're getting the pivot lock system on here instead of a traditional frame lock. So just some alternatives with different locking mechanisms that I wanted to recommend, but the one that I really want to point you guys to check out, if you're not really feeling this design, it's going to continue to be that Kaiser Militao. I think this is their best overall all-around model. Very comparable sizes here. You got a little bit more size on that Kubey. It is definitely going to be geared towards more hard use, but this is going to be a better EDC all-arounder. It's a little bit more neutral in the handle. You're going to have S35 or S45EN depending on which variant you want. So you're getting the S45 with the DLC coating and the fancy fat carbon on here for $210. But you're getting the regular version for $159, so a little bit less, but you're getting that S35EN that they appear to be doing a very good job with. A little bit lighter weight too. This one here is going to be a little bit smoother on the action, more guillotine-like, but that's because this one here is a little bit more robust, and the lock bar itself is going to be a little bit more robust as well. I really like this. I'm glad to see Kubey doing new models. I think if they continue to try to pump out new models more regularly and do different variants of them, that people are going to receive that very well. But it is good to see them doing something that looks good, feels good, works good, that's new. So keep that up, Kubey. We're really excited about that. We love to see this particular price point in the market be competitive. Let me know what you think about the interflow down in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Did you pick one up? If so, tell us about it, because a lot of people will check to the comments to see what you guys are saying as well. Special thank you to watching to this point of the video. It helps the algorithm. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Special shout out and thanks to those channel members. That extra layer of loyal support really goes a long way, guys, and I appreciate that. Catch you all on the next one, guys. Peace.